Welcome back to Get Rest with Knowledge. As an Oracle DBA, your database doesn't work in isolation. Applications, client tools, and other services must connect to it. For that to happen, you must understand networking in Linux. Chapter 2. Linux Networking Basics for Oracle DBA. If networking is misconfigured, your Oracle listener may run, but no client can connect. Applications may get ORA 12541, TNS no listener errors. Users may complain that database is down, even though the server is running. So in this chapter, we'll learn the fundamentals of networking for Oracle DBAs. Topic 1. IP address and hostname. An IP address is like a house address, it uniquely identifies your server in the network. A hostname is like a nickname, easier to remember than numbers. Oracle Listener uses these details to accept client connections. DBAs often need to provide this info to developers or network admins. Think of hostname as the server's name and IP as its number. Without this, clients cannot locate your database. Topic 2. Connectivity test, ping, receipt theory. Ping checks whether one machine can reach another. It works by sending ICMP packets, like knocking on someone's door to see if they respond. For DBAs, ping is the first troubleshooting step if the database server seems unreachable. Commands. Ping google.com for tests internet connectivity, ping 192.168.1.20 for tests another server in the LAN. If ping fails, either the server is down, the network is broken, or a firewall is blocking ICMP packets. Topic 3. Ports and services, Oracle Listener. Now let's talk about one of the most important parts of Oracle networking, ports and services. Every service on Linux communicates through a port number. A port is like a door in the operating system that allows external connections to come in or go out. For example, HTTP, web server, runs on port 80. SSH, secure shell, runs on port 22. And most importantly for us, Oracle Listener runs on port 1521 by default. So when a client tries to connect using SQL Developer or SQL+, it is actually reaching your Linux server at port 1521. If that port is blocked or the listener is not running, the client will fail to connect. Key Oracle DBA points 1. Default port, 1521, Oracle Listener listens on 1521 unless change. If another service is already using 1521, DBA must change the port in listener.ora. 2. Listener service and ports. Listener is like a receptionist. It receives connection requests on the port and forwards them to the right database service. Without Listener, clients cannot connect remotely, only local connections work. 3. Multiple databases and ports. One server may run multiple databases. You can configure one listener on port 1521 handling multiple services, OR. Separate listeners on different ports, useful in multi-tenant setups. 4. Checking ports in Linux. Output shows whether port 1521 is actively listening and which process, usually TNS LSNR, owns it. Link with lsnrctl. lsnrctl status confirms listener is running and which ports it is using. If Linux shows nothing on 1521 but listener claims to be running right pointing arrow firewall or OS issue. Firewall issues. Even if listener is up, a firewall may block port 1521. As a DBA, you must work with the Linux administrator to ensure the port is open. Topic 4. Testing port access. Now that we know the Oracle Listener runs on port 1521, the next question is, how do we test if the port is accessible? Testing port access is one of the most common tasks for an Oracle DBA when someone says, I can't connect to the database. Before blaming Oracle, we first check if the network and ports are working correctly. Why testing port access matters. If port 1521 is closed, clients cannot connect to the listener. Even if the listener is running, a firewall or network policy may block it. As a DBA, you must prove whether the issue is with Oracle or the network. Start with step 1. From the database server itself, we check if the listener is active on port 1521. For that, we can use the command ssTULNP grep 1521 or netstat TULNP grep 1521. If you see output showing port 1521 in use, that means the listener is active. But if nothing shows, the listener is probably down. Now step 2. Let's test connectivity from the client side. The old way is using telnet. You type telnet server IP 1521. If the screen clears or says connected, that means the port is open. But if it says connection refused or could not open connection, the port is blocked. A more modern tool is netcat. You can run nczv server IP 1521. If you see a message like connection succeeded, then the client can reach the database port. If it fails, you already know the issue is not Oracle, but the network or firewall. Step 3. We also have to check the listener status directly on the database server. Run lsnrctl status. If the listener is running here but telnet or netcat fails from the client, it clearly means there's a firewall or hostname resolution issue. Finally, step 4, we have an Oracle-specific utility called TNSPING. From the client, just run TNSPING ORCL, or replace ORCL with your service name from tnsnames.ora. If it shows OK with response time, that means the listener is reachable. But if it fails, again the issue is with port, firewall, or DNS. So, this is the proper way to test Oracle listener port access, first from the server itself, then from the client, and finally with Oracle tools like lsnrctl and TNSPING. Oracle DBA troubleshooting case. A user says, SQL developer cannot connect to ORCL. As a DBA, here's what you check. 1. Ping server is network reachable? 2. NC, telnet test is port 1521 open? 3. lsnrctl status is listener up? 4. TNSPING ORCL can client reach listener? 5. If all good, check username, password or service name mismatch. In 70% of cases, the problem is either listener down or port blocked by firewall. Knowing how to test ports saves hours of time. And that's how you test Oracle listener port access using Linux commands and Oracle utilities. Always remember, first check locally, then from the client, and finally with Oracle tools like lsnrctl and TNSPING. This step-by-step approach will save you a lot of time in troubleshooting connection issues. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to get rest with knowledge. Your support motivates me to create more practical DBA tutorials. Right finger in the next session, we'll go deeper into firewall and network troubleshooting for Oracle ports, which is the next big step after port testing. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next session.